Good afternoon, Sachin. Thank you very much for joining us today at India M2M and IoT Forum. We are pleased to have MachinePulse as a sponsor at the forum and your kind self as our esteemed speaker at India M2M and IoT Forum 2015. May I request you to briefly introduce yourself and your association with MachinePulse, please?
Okay. I've started working with MachinePulse, very recently. But before that, I have worked in defense industry, particularly in the R&D sector. So I've seen the cost overruns and the other aspects of the defense, and that's when I started looking out how we can actually optimize those cost overruns and other things. And that's when I looked at some of these M2M and other applications. But besides this, when I looked at it, it was very interesting because the numbers were talked in the consumer and the other segments are really high. So this is what got actually me attracted into this space of industrial and the consumer IoT space. And I chose to work with a startup than instead of a bigger company, because the company which I was working with, they also had the similar areas, but in different group companies. But I chose to start up because startups would give me a better platform to learn and showcase my skills and capabilities and apply my knowledge. So at MachinePulse, it's really interesting to know about what we are doing and the work we are doing in the industrial Internet of Things.
A lot is being said and done about M2M and IoT space, especially when you talk about the Indian context. What is your take on it, and what do you think the industry has in store for the future and for the Indian market?
Okay, India, if you talk about opportunity, I think it's good for us that we don't have much of an infrastructure which is already set up. So when we are planning, we can actually account for the requirements of the IoT and M2M when we do the infrastructure setup here in India. Like we have a lot of plans to put up a lot of big airports and infrastructure. So we can make them smarter right from the beginning. Than the other world, like the countries which are the advanced, they already have the infrastructure, they have to make it smarter. So they already have incurred some cost and they have to now apply or renew some of the infrastructure to make it smarter. So India has a unique advantage where we are just starting up and we are like at a right point trying to introduce these technologies. But being said that, we also have a setback, like we don't have the skilled people in this segment who can actually direct in the right direction. It's not that there is lack of direction, but it's like the IoT is not one company or one government official job. It is many verticals and many industries has to work in a synchronization. So I see really challenging part in India is how you bring all those stakeholders together at one platform and get the things moving. We have a big opportunity and we can take this forward, but only if we unify ourselves into one platform and decide what is IoT for India and take this forward. Big said that India is a very cost conscious country. So whatever solution we implement, we talk about healthcare or building management or a home automation segment, or you talk about the industrial IoT, you go any segment, India is a very cost conscious country. And when you talk about a new technology, you have to do a lot of investment in R&D. So you have to think of innovative business model, how you are going to get the return on what you have invested. So it's going to be very challenging in India when we talk about IoT and all, because people are looking at the big numbers, but when we really talk about the realistic bottom lines, things are not visible right now. So probably we've still not find the right business models going forward. Probably we'll be able to see something, probably the light at the end of the tunnel, which will keep us moving toward that goal to improve the systems and probably get some. And I think the IoT would be the area of scale. Like when you get the scale, probably you'll be able to get good numbers in your bottom lines. So as a India, the opportunity is big and can be done in a right way, because we are like just starting, so we can do better. But it has to be unified action and needs to be focused energy in one direction. We just can't afford to take a wrong call on one technology or two technology and then commit a bigger mistake.
What potential do you think the sector in India holds for domestic as well as international players?
As I said, IoT is being talked about as a big market. Like government is talking about creating $15 billion industry in next 6 years, like till 2020. Even if we said big market, it's totally chaotic market, because there's no clarity on the standardizations or what government specifications are going to be. So like a startup like us, we would like to understand what technology the government is looking forward to. So even if the numbers are there, but how we can actually reach that point to get that business out is not very clearly spelled out. Besides this, government is talking about smart cities, another thing, but the allocation which is done for the 100 smart cities, which is 7,000 crores, is hardly meager. Only help probably do the study of the smart cities concept and other things. What about the implementation part? Because only theory papers are not going to help the companies who are working in IoT field. So unless government allocates some budgets and really start taking some steps towards coming out with an RFPs and clear guidelines how they are going to take this and implement these smart cities, it's going to be very difficult in India to do business. But besides, yeah, export market, if you talk about, there are plenty of opportunity, particularly in US and the Middle East countries, and because the countries where the infrastructure is already set up and the people are really understanding. Besides, they already have the pressure from their economy side. They just cannot afford to spend billions of dollars in the healthcare or the defense and the areas where it's very critical for their economy to sustain and continue growing. They need to optimize their cost and other things. So IoT will help them grow their economy. So there is a big market outside, but when we talk about Indian company going out, it's really you need to prove your mettle here in India, find some viable solution, then only you can scale it, take it to the next level in the international market. Because if you really want to try it directly in the international market, your cost of trial and success would be very high. So ideally, as an Indian company, you would like to try something here, the local solution which works, and then take it to the global heights.
Can you elaborate a little more about MachinePulse as an organization and its contributions in terms of products and solutions in the M2M and IoT space?
Okay, MachinePulse started 2 years back in 2013, and we already have 50 team of 50 engineers and data scientists, and it's hardware light company. What it means that we do have hardware expertise, but we are not manufacturing anything in-house. So basically, we are a software startup. But talking about MachinePulse is a good place to work because it gives you an opportunity to touch base on many industries where the IoT is going to create an impact. Particularly, we are focusing in renewable energy space like solar and wind. And moving forward, we are looking at the smart cities applications like energy meter monitoring and probably making buildings smarter and factories smarter, those kinds of things. So we look at the marketplace as a big marketplace, and but again, it's how the government and there are many stakeholders who are going to shape this market. It's not only one MachinePulse. So we are MachinePulse is a company open to partnership and contribution at a national level in the various bodies in whatever means. So MachinePulse is looking very optimistically toward this M2M space, particularly in the energy segment and the smarter factories and building segments. And yeah, I mean, going forward, the government is very gung-ho about the smart cities. We also look out, contributing in 1 or 2 segments going forward.
You are here today at India M2M and IoT Forum 2015. What do you think about the entire platform, and how important do you think platforms like these are for the industry?
Okay, as I talked about the platform where people can come together and share their views, I think this is the good platform to get the collaborative views, because normally our competitors will not talk outside, but when they come on such a platform, they share their views and the challenges that they have. They also talk about the opportunities, but besides opportunities, the greater part is the sharing the challenges. And what we can do more about from this platform is how we can actually try to solve those challenges. So as like a subsequent activities, I mean, this platform is enabling us to talk about what we have learned in, let's say, last 1 year, because this is an annual platform, and what are the challenges. But I think subsequent activity could be, we should take on a task force, or probably we call, let's say, note down all the challenges which are brought in this conference and take it to as a report to the government agencies or the applicable stakeholders, and try to get those sorted out in next 1 year. Because keeping a platform and doing marketing or talking activity is one aspect, but whatever the challenges, how we are actually making this industry better in next 1 year is going to make much more difference when we come here next year to talk more about it. Because if the situation is the same, it's not going to help. So ideally, we have to take the key takeaways from here, the challenges which are talked about, the good points which are talked about, and take it to the responsible stakeholders and get the solutions in next 1 year. So ideally, IoT M2M forum should act like as the voice of the industry to take it to the government agencies and the various stakeholders and put our point and the challenges forward and get this sorted out in various industry forums.
Thank you very much, Sachin, for sharing your views with us. And we look forward to receiving you in India M2M and IoT Forum 2016.
Thank you for this opportunity to present here. Thank you.